Johnny Fox here with another Sniktcast. And have I got a treat for you today? Yes I have. Big treat, huge treat. Bigger for me, I actually get to speak to them. But treat all around. They'll be joining us any moment, I'm sure. While we wait to build the drama, the suspense, in case you didn't know, I'll give you some clues. I'll give you a few clues. She is a singer-songwriter whose tunes very socially, emotionally relevant to people. Is partial to playing a bit of the acoustic guitar, although performs under her own name but regularly backed by a full band. We're very lucky to have her, as she has most recently played some of the biggest gigs of her career so far. Who could it be? I know you're thinking of someone. Hey! I bet you got it right.
Oh, I'm such a technical, honestly.
It's Katrina Tia Charles, kids! Were you expecting someone else? Who else could it be?
Hello, it's the one that squints.
Hello! Oh!
How are you?
Well, I'm fine. So, first things first, congratulations on the whole not being dead thing.
I know, thank you. How cool is that?
It really shouldn't be an achievement, and yet it feels like it is.
It seems to be a perpetual achievement that I keep on getting. Like, I keep getting grey hairs and I shouldn't even still be here, so that's like very cool.
Yeah. For anyone not following, Katrina was a little bit poorly. Just a little bit. Recently, we should have done this a couple of weeks ago, but all's well that ends well. We're here now, and we're going to crack on. First thing I've got to ask. A few gigs with the full band under your belt.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying that?
I love it. It's been an absolute blast. It's just a totally different vibe to sitting on stage by yourself with a guitar and sort of sweating a bit and hoping that everyone's enjoying it when you're not sure if you sound right because you're just nervous and you've got imposter syndrome, and then having absolute belter musicians behind you. It's the confidence difference is amazing. Like,
Yeah, I was going to ask, how's that changed the dynamic for you as a performer? I mean, like having your hands free, not holding the guitar and that kind of thing. Are you, stalking the stage left and right and
when we
growling and all of that?
started, I used to stand awkwardly, and it's getting better. And now I am definitely more. I'm feeling it more, definitely. When I first started, because I'm very awkward with my hands, but before I used to feel awkward about being awkward, but now I embrace the awkward, and I'm like, do you know what? This is who I am. I'm a weirdo, and I'm just going to roll with it. So. But there's more. I think the more I do it, the more I realise it's like with anything, people accept it anyway. I can remember when I first started doing, like, when I worked in jobs where I was delivering training or delivering presentations, I was never a confident person, or I didn't think I was, but people were like, oh God, Katrina, you're so confident. And I was like, they think I'm confident.
I'm just
so they've got confidence in me. So they were like, they think I'm confident, so they've got confidence in me. And then that made me be, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
It's insane. So it's the same with being on stage. Every time you do what you're doing and you think, oh my God, what am I doing up here? And then people come up to you afterwards and they're like, I liked that. And you eventually stop thinking they're just being nice to you because they feel sorry for you. It's
Yeah.
just a blast, an absolute blast. Really enjoyable. Really loved it. I'm gonna have to put this on charge. So I tried to get on with the laptop, and then it was like, oh, you need to do this, 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 and this, and jump through this hoop and give it the blood of your firstborn. And I was just like, do you know what? I'll do that next time because my firstborn's not here.
Crazy. Modern technology. Here to make our lives easier.
And it does, but it makes us
For the
dependent on
most part.
it.
So how yes. So you got new music. We can see it on the horizon. More
Yes.
more full band related recordings, I
Well,
believe, yeah?
so all the recordings are full band anyway that are on the album. So the two singles that have already been released, War and Light It Up, they're on Spotify, they're on everywhere. Go and stream my songs. See, I'm getting better at that.
Yeah.
War and Light It Up. So the full album has been done with. I've got bass, drums, and guitar on there anyway. But performing as a full band wasn't. It was not been as constant. You get more booking. The thing is, more of the places that are booking original artists are smaller venues, unless you're a massive original artist. And I'm a noob, so I tend to do more stuff solo. But the band stuff it's just got a different kind of flow to it. So that's developing in itself. It's getting there. So yeah, it's nice, but it's also more in line with what people are going to hear from the recorded stuff. Slightly different because we've got as constantly happens with bands, we've got a slightly different lineup. So the bassist of the live performances, just because all my friends are all in loads of bands, so we switch around a bit. That's how it works. So everyone, in fact, everybody in my band's in another one, or a performer in their own right, or in several other bands. Yeah, that tends to be how it goes for quite a few of us as well. So
Yeah.
only me that's not in loads of bands actually.
Yeah, but quality over quantity.
Oh, definitely. The the people that are in my band are quality as well, regardless of the actual quantity of their output, which is massive. Their output is massive, but the vibe of the talent, I think that's it as well. Like, I'm not just vibing because there's so many different facets to it. So one, they're all really good musicians, and I mean, like, I'm really lucky. Two, they're all a vibe. Like, I would I would have taken the vibe over the talent, and I haven't had to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm very lucky in that respect. And then they're playing my songs, enthusiastic to do so. And I'm just like, what? How? When? Where? What did I do to deserve this?
Yeah. So how's that? How, how's that process when you bring in? I guess essentially, you've written the song, you have the melody, you have the chord progression, with guitar. When you bring that, I go, do something with this,
More or
and
less. I
I'll
mean,
just let them loose.
so with some of the songs, that was kind of put together by so Bill, who's the guitarist, helped me to put some arrangements together for the recordings, and we got, sort of Tom was going to be on bass, and then Tom introduced me to Matt Baldy, who's the drummer, and it was like Baldy came over and he was like, I've heard you need a drummer, and I was like, yeah, you're a great drummer. And then we ended up, so Tom was in quite a few bands and doing loads of different jobs. He ended up not being able to do it anymore, and we luckily, again, we all know some pretty cool people. And then Alex Tinkler, who's now the bassist, was thankfully, he was like, okay, yeah, I'm intrigued. And then he was like, okay, yeah, this is great. And it was, we all worked quite well together, but some of them were already kind of put together, and then we had to pass it through a bit of a process. Hey, I fell down. So it went through a bit of a process, and then and then you've got to be like, right, okay, do what you think with this.
Mm.
So it started out as this exists and it needs recording for the album, and then sort of you kind of let people find what they think as a drummer, or what they think as a bassist, or what they think as a guitarist. And now with the newer stuff, which I'm sort of bringing in to them and saying, this is what I do with this when I do it live. What do you guys think we should do? And then they're like, we'll show you, Katrina. And then they make it something like awesome. Like, there's a lot of times when you can hear stuff in your head that you cannot convey as a solo artist, and then the band just makes it something else entirely. Brings a different vibe to a song without taking away from the story I'm telling, and I'm very lucky. I've tried it before. I've tried it, where I've had bands and it's been cool and it's worked really well, but I've always worried about the storytelling side of the song. I always panic that if I get a band behind it, well, I used to panic, should I say? Now I don't. Now I know what it's going to do to my song, and I'm always delighted about it. But I used to be like, if I get a band behind this vulnerable song that I've written, for example, what's going to happen to that vulnerability?
Yeah.
But it doesn't go away. The message stays, and that's because they understand what I want to do with it. They aren't. So I've been very lucky that I've got some really excellent individual musicians, and I've got piano now as well. We've got keys, so that's not on the recorded stuff at the moment. But live, we're a 5-piece now. So and Cal is absolutely like amazing. Also plays like brass stuff as well.
I was just about to say, why do I get the feeling when you come back a third time, there's going to be a horn section? Or
there is. Honestly, there's got
harp.
to be. I will have a harp if I can have a harp. And the thing is, the beauty of music is you just keep layering, and you can take layers off and you can add layers on, but it just gets better. But yeah, so we've got this 5-piece. It's absolutely buzzing. It's not taken away from the message. If anything, it's just constantly reinterpreting what I'm conveying, and it can grow with me as well. So I might write a song in one mood, and the band are very used to now to me saying this. So Sunshine, right? So plug the song I've just advertised today that's going to be released on the 9th of August is called Sunshine, and that song is about, it's a narcissist and an empath saying the same words to each other, completely missing the point of what each other's saying, and it's both of them are talking about how they need the other person to be their sunshine, right? Because I personally believe that both of those levels of person does that in some way to each other. So an empath needs the sunshine of the narc. That's why they're drawn to the narc. The narc needs the sunshine of the empath. That's why they're drawn to the empath. And that's what that song's about. So instead of saying to the band, I want this to sound like X, Y, or Z band, because I don't really like the idea of that. I don't really want my song. Sometimes I've gone to go to a recorder to record a song, and they've been like, right, I need you to tell me 3 people that you want to sound like. And I'm like, right, okay, I'm not going to work with you. And I end up moving. That's why I ended up at DC Studios, because I sat and talked to Jack about what I wanted to do, and he didn't ask me who I wanted to be compared to. And that made a difference to me, because I probably, it's got to be songwriter ego. I know I'm going to be compared to someone. I know I'm not. There's no such thing as original anymore, because the world's been going a long time and recorded music's been going a long time. But I don't want to try and be like anything. And that's why I ended up with DC Studios, and that's why I love my band, because they've all got their own skills and talents, and they've all got their own ideas of what they like and everything, but they listen to what I say and they roll with that, and they roll with it in their own interpretation of what I've conveyed. So it's accumulative, and works for me. Really does. I've got loads of energy today. I've just finished a job. Oh, so I've ended a job and I start a new one on Monday. So it's like I've just got the I've just just passed on the details for Sunshine and Cigarette, which will be the following release in September. And I've ended a job today and I start a new job on Monday. So yeah, I've got a day job. I'm not just a full-time musician. So yeah, I've got so much energy today.
So personally and professionally, everything's looking good at the moment.
Yeah, and like you
Always
say, I'm
excellent.
alive, which is such a bonus.
Yeah. So I'm sorry for everybody who's having a really hard time right now. But don't be offended. Just see how that it's possible. It can be done. It might not feel like it right now, but it can be
Hey,
done.
so it was crazy because I was talking to someone like about the winter of my life, let's call it, and I was thinking like a few years ago, like literally less than 5 years ago, I did not think I was still going to be here in a few years' time. Like I was not smiling. You know, I don't think I'd smiled for a long time. Like a few years, quite maybe 5 years ago. So just 4 days before the lockdown, I came away from the winter of my life, we'll call it. And I'd probably not smiled for a couple of years, and I'd been indoors for a couple of years, and it was a hard, dark time. And if someone had said to me, in a few years' time, you're going to have started doing music, you'll have learned how to play guitar, and you will perform songs that you've written live in front of people, and they'll listen to them, and they'll quote your lyrics back to you, or like, nah, I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't have believed you. I would have laughed. I'd have been like, oh, yeah, okay, thank you for saying that to me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to just plug a charger in a moment. But yeah, times do get scary and tough. And like, I mean, it's election day tomorrow, so I've been stressing, hoping that people vote with kindness. Vote with kindness, guys. Vote green. But yeah, I would never have thought that I'd be sat smiling on a live interview with you saying I've got a new song out next month and I've got a new song out the month after, and that would be after I already had music out. Like I wasn't even a musician 5 years ago. I wasn't even a musician just before the lockdown, and now I am, and this is the funnest time I've ever had.
So you just may have just like casually thrown that out there and not realised what you've said, but you mentioned people singing your lyrics back to you.
Yeah.
Is that happening?
Oh
I
my
do
god.
because
Yeah.
I've never
People that I don't
in
know.
the decades that I did that shit, I never experienced that once. What's that like, really like?
I mean, let's be honest, I'm not Green Day laying down whilst that's being sung back to them, like that video that's really gone viral. You know, it's not everybody, but honestly, like people that I do know and people that I don't know are singing along to my songs while I'm playing them, and it's mad. It's it's insane. Some of them are people I don't even know, like one or two of them, and that has been crazy. It was at Sounds of Summer in Barnsley Town Centre, and there were people I knew doing it, and I honestly I kept stopping and crying and going, "You guys!" Like it was quite hard not to, but like, there were one or two people that I didn't recognise that were doing it, and I'm very, very rarely lost for words, as you well know. It's hard to put into words. That is the best feeling I have ever had in my entire life. Like my friends quote my lyrics back to me in a joke, or like on Light It Up. There's a bit where it's got me going so weary, but whispering it right. People sometimes just do that when they're talking to me. Um, it's brilliant. It's a beautiful feeling. It's you go through life being told different compliments, and it might be about what you're wearing or about what you look like, or about something that, you know, that you've achieved financially, or, you know, when I was a corporate person and I used to walk around with business dress and a briefcase and straight blonde hair, people were impressed about stuff that I didn't really feel like I didn't, it weren't stuff I felt fulfilled by. But when someone says, I like that song you wrote, or that line really meant something to me, or I listened to that in my kitchen on a Sunday, or I walked past Peaky's bar on the Victorian Arcade and I heard your song playing. Like, it was a great feeling. I was playing at a garden centre. I was playing at a garden centre, Markham Grange, and somebody who I'd not seen for years, one of my kids' friends and their mum came over, and I was playing War, and he'd said, that's Katrina's song, and they came over. I'd not seen them for years, and they didn't know me when I wasn't a musician when they knew me.
Yeah.
And this kid recognised my song and brought his mum over, and she was like, he said that's your song, that sounds like Katrina's song. He must have listened to it a few times to think that, and I was just like, that's I'm in awe of those people when they do that, because like my recognition of stuff, you know, I've got strong ADHD, and sometimes that I can have face blindness with it, or like name blindness, or like the forgetfulness of certain things. You know, like when someone will go, "What's this song?" My old boss Em used to do a quiz, and she used to be like, "Katrina, listen to these songs. This is the music quiz." And as soon as I listened, it was like I'd never heard a song in my life. Right? I've never listened to anything, and I wouldn't recognize those things because context matters to me. It's something that I sometimes struggle with. Sometimes, if it's of my own accord, I'll be like, "Oh, I recognize that thing." But as soon as I'm asked to recognize something, I have no memory of anything ever. Like, where have I been all this time? But for other people to be remembering stuff that I've done or recognizing, like, I don't know what I've done to deserve it, and I will continue trying to. Is like a very circumlocutory answer to your question.
No, I've had very, very few compliments in general about anything ever. Um, I've probably also only recently I've probably had more compliments for doing this
It's cool when
than I've had for a bunch of stuff, which is weird, but I'll take it.
it's nice when what you're doing is recognised as cool.
Uh,
Wow, and what you have to.
you're pretty good at talking bollocks. Hooray for me! Put it, I'll have it on the headstone. Here he lies, quiet for a change.
Maybe we should be voting for you tomorrow.
Oh no!
Sorry about the close-up. I'm just about to plug you
I,
in.
I, vote for me, Jonathan von Foxhausen the third. The vote for me is really just a vote for yourself, because we are so alike, you and I. Yes, I too love the sports ball and our local teams. Yes,
My
go
dad,
Town United.
my
Am
dad
I
was
right?
also a tool.
Fuck them all, pretty much. Anyway, um,
I liked your post. It's puppet picking day tomorrow, kids. Honestly, I've
it's
adopted that. It's mine now. I feel like that's it.
yeah,
Puppet
I
picking day.
have sort of said it a few times, and then the first time I heard someone else actually say it at the weekend, and I was like, it's not just me. That's good to know, because that's
Stressful.
really all it is. On to brighter things, and you've brought this on yourself by you've just mentioned a quiz.
Oh yeah.
Well, not really a quiz because I've got no prizes because I don't get paid for this shit. If I ever do, I can
The
give
prize
prizes
is the
away.
taking part.
Until then, it's all just for fun.
Yeah. Well, the
What
fun is the
I thought
prize.
I'd do, because you've been here and done this before, and well, I think we've played a bit of this or that, and I keep asking the same questions, and I always think somebody at some point is actually going to have watched the previous episode and they're going to have all these answers thought out and they're just going to try and be like super cool.
All right.
So
You so
I've started
see.
adding in some different questions,
Oh
but
dear.
also I've been doing that for a few episodes now. So what I thought we'd do is something, and now for something completely different. Um, as a great TV show once said, I what I thought I'd do is I'm going to give you some kind of weird, kind of funny, kind of messed up song titles, or are they? Just a bit
Right.
true or false.
Okay.
Is it a real song title or not?
Oh God, I just told you about my context thing. Right. Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah, because it's a 50-50 chance of everything. And it's just
50-50
amusing
is
to say,
very
and
optimistic. Go on.
just saying some of this stuff out loud is just fun for me anyway.
So I've
So how
got to
about
say if it's a real song title.
you just say true or false? So real song title. You're the reason our kids are so ugly.
Sounds like a punk song. I'm gonna go with true.
It is true. Country.
Oh.
All the weirdest titles are country songs.
Okay.
I guarantee you that. Not on the list. As a side note, a personal favourite of mine, Mama Get the Hammer, There's a Fly on Papa's Head. Love that track.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow. That's so dark.
oh no, that's nothing. The same guy does one called I Miss You Baby, but my aim's getting better.
That's country as well, is it?
Anyway, so we're one for one. What about our lawyer made us change the name of this song so we wouldn't get sued.
Yeah, true.
That's true. Do you know who it is?
No, that's a cool song title. Who is it?
No, that's Fall Out Boy.
Is it really?
It really is.
What,
Yeah.
so what's the story? Oh, can we do the story on that now, or are you going to tell me after the quiz?
I didn't know. It's just it is what it is. It's pretty self-explanatory, that one.
So it was.
Um,
It wasn't that somebody else owned the song. It was that the title was bad, so they might get sued. Or
it's really just a comedy song. I'm sure there's some basis in a real life situation that happened to him, but it's just a silly, amusing
just
song.
a cool title. I like it. It sounds like band name wise, that'd be quite cool.
Oh, if you think that's cool,
Okay.
bear with me. This is, as song titles go, this is probably one of the longest I think I've ever seen. Several species of small furry animals gathered together in a cave and grooving with a pict.
Based on how you introduced it, I think that that's a real song title. Who is
I
it?
kind of, yeah, I mean, though, that is, would you believe that's Pink Floyd?
Yes.
Yeah,
But since it's so old, I should know. I should have heard it. So now you know what I'm going to be listening to after.
yeah. So. How about My Pants Are Burning for You?
Yeah, sounds like a Johnny Cash song.
Well, it's not. I mean, I assume it actually probably is, but I haven't found one that is. I'm taking it from Benjamin, as played by Fisher Stevens in Short Circuit.
In the film, Short
Yeah,
Circuit.
as in, oh,
Cool.
my pants are burning for you, Newton Crosby. And I'm doing
What a great
accent
film.
because you can't cancel me because you've got to know who I am before you can cancel me. And it's purely in comedic context, so chill the fuck out.
I don't think cancelling's a real thing anyway.
Do you know that's the second person to say that in a couple of weeks?
Well, people keep talking about cancelling stuff, but has anything actually been cancelled like ever? Like the people that talk about being cancelled are usually the people the people that complain about cancel culture are usually the people that try and cancel everything.
Yeah,
as well.
that,
So
that and it seems to do the career a world of good. People seem to improve their status after being cancelled. What with all the headlines they get from moaning about it. So
Johnny
it
Five's one of my
seems to
favourite
be a
characters.
positive thing anyway.
I think that yeah, I mean, I don't worry about getting cancelled because the only people that would try to, I don't know who, I don't know what I really would do for people to cancel me, but the people that want to complain about cancel culture tend to be the ones that then want to say, well, you can't do that because
It's true.
you can't do that because I want to restrict your rights because I think they oppress me in some way, but they don't. You're just trying to exist without being proud.
Okay. Let's go for another one. About I'm not even supposed to be here today.
They all sound like they could. The thing is, you're talking to a songwriter. Everything sounds like a song title. Like, that sounds like it could be a song, and if not, it should be.
If not,
Definitely.
it definitely should be, and I probably should have wrote it years ago. Now I'm taking that as a quote from the 90s movie Clerks.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
is that a
done
T-shirt?
by
That?
Brian O'Halloran as Dante, and even throughout the sequels, the recurring catchphrase of "I'm not even supposed to be here today," which anyone who works a shitty job completely relates to, and should definitely be a song.
Everything, yeah. Well, do you know what? The amount of times that in our lives that something dreadful happens and we really were not supposed to be there today is crazy.
Yes. What else have we got? Okay. Ooh, okay. I've been flushed from the bathroom of your heart.
Okay, I'm going to think about it logically. There's no logic to song title choosing, so that was a lie. I'm going to think about it. I think, do you know what? I think that is not a song title, but I think it's a quote from a film.
It's actually Johnny Cash. Really is.
I should have just kept going with the Johnny Cash. It's a Johnny Cash song. It's a Johnny
Yep.
Cash song. Brilliant. I've been
Okay.
flushed from the bathroom of your heart.
Yeah.
Wow. See, my friends will be going mad because, like,
Excuse me.
I have some serious Johnny Cash fan friends. But I mean, it could be a song. It could be a song I'd sang along to my whole life, and I'd still be like, "Oh yeah, I don't know what's that."
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's one of his biggest hits. Excuse me. Okay. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, wait longer.
It should be. Is it though? No.
No, but again, it should be. It probably is because it does sound like another country song to me.
Yeah,
Totally
and
like
it's
another country
definitely
song
from a
to me.
film.
But I'm taking it as Ace Ventura.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely from the.
And,
I'm gonna say I've heard it. In fact, I've
oh, so what?
said it quite a lot.
What about this? If you won't be my number one, then number two on you.
Yes.
Yes, it is indeed. Roger Miller. Many crazy song titles from that guy.
I was gonna say it sounds like a reggae song, honestly. Like, but a lot of the songs. Do you know how many reggae songs I like that have got the number one in them? The words number one. You're my number one girl. Yeah.
Okay, last one. Last one. Satan gave me a taco.
No, but it's from a film.
It's actually Beck.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Actually a Beck tune.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Satan gave me a taco. Now I want a taco.
I forgot to keep score, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Now I want a taco.
We had fun. We had fun. No tacos, but we've had fun.
No taco, but we had fun. There you go. That's another song title. Oh dear.
Yeah.
I just
So,
started writing one today actually,
yeah.
and it's called Red Pill, Red Pill or Blue Pill. I only want the green pill.
Ah.
Vote green.
do you have, do you ever get concerned at all about something you might be writing, about whether you should write it on? Like, if it leans a little bit politically, which I mean, everything's political, right? We can all agree on that essentially. But like you don't want to sound. If you ever stop yourself ever,
No,
if you're ever feeling like am I being too pushy or too in your face with this? Do I need to
no, I
art
only
it
write
up
for myself.
a bit or something? You know?
No, I should probably should. I don't know. One of the reasons I should never say this, and I say it to people who I'm trying to like get to work with me on my music. But one of the reasons I don't think I'll ever blow up is because I don't write for I write I write what I want to write, and then if people like it, that's such a bonus to
Yeah.
me. But I don't. I think if as soon as I'm trying to do something, then I've kind of defeated the object of why I do it. To be honest,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I mean, light it up. The first words in it are food banks and billionaires. I mean, um, I think sometimes I write a song and I'm like, should I release that? Like cigarette, not the next song, but the song after. It's not really in line with everything else that I write. It's a cheeky one, actually. Um, it's a naughty one, but it's a bop. It's fun to do with the band, and it tends to be what people enjoy. Like it's what people ask for. But I wrote that by entering. I was in the lockdown. I was entering an erotic haiku competition, and I wrote this haiku.
As you do.
And I was like, right, and it was it's ended up being make my body sweat, roll me like a cigarette, make me work off my debt are the first lines in
Okay.
that song. And one of the problems that I had with that song was like people are going to hear that and think this is what kind of thing they're getting, and they're not really going to get anything like that one. That's one on its own, really. So I have had reservations about releasing that one before, and now I'm like, do you know what? I enjoy it. I wrote it. People like it. I'm proud of it. But it took
Yeah.
me a minute. That one. It took me a
And
minute to.
it is. It is. If you think too much, it's not always a good thing. It's a good thing to think
Yeah,
and to
but
question everything, kids, everything. But
overthinking what people want and then doing it for that.
yeah,
It's for me. If I wanted to cater what people's pre requirements are, then I will put a set of covers together, and I'll say to them, "What do you want to hear?" And I'll play those songs. But for my original music, I feel like I should write a song, and people can like it or not like it,
yeah,
and I will respect their choice either way, if that makes sense.
yeah,
It's the same as people liking me. I'm very me, and I usually assume people won't like me, and I'm really shocked when they do because that's who we all are on the inside. I think quite a lot of
yeah,
the time. But I'd rather be disliked for who I am than liked for who I'm not.
yeah.
Like
Nice one.
genuinely, it matters more. And I don't think it's fair to other people to get them to like me based on a lie either. They have the right to choose what they like, and if they're listening to my music that I've written to cater to what I think they want, then they're not really listening to me, they're listening to my version of them. And yeah. It's not for me. I don't disrespect it as an art, I just don't want to do it because enough people that if that's what people if I think if people are looking for someone to sound like this person, then they should listen to this person. um
Yeah,
I get
what makes
inspiration from
me
things.
that's the thing that makes me like that puts me in miserable old man mode, and I don't intend to. I like to do new things. I like to I listen to new bands, new acts, new artists. I watch new movies, TV shows. I try and give the new a chance all
Yeah,
the time, but particularly with music, when someone and they know the stuff that I like, or the stuff that inspired me, the stuff I grew up with,
yeah,
or the stuff that yeah, your real favorites, that stuff you sing that when you don't know you're singing until somebody tells you to shut up, that stuff.
yeah,
When somebody comes up to me and goes, "Oh, you should listen to these. They sound like," and I do, and
yeah.
they're fine, and I get that reference totally. I see that influence, but it's that you thought that I would like them because they sound like the Clash, and I just go, yeah, but whenever I've got a stack of Clash CDs, I just don't need them. Like,
Do you know what I think? We've all got a bit of, especially if you're a creative person, you've got a bit of the pathological demand avoidance. It's like I struggle. I haven't watched. I shouldn't say this. There's certain TV shows I haven't watched yet. That as a person, as the person who has watched everything else in that franchise, I should have watched it. But when people keep at me and say, watch this, you will love it, you will love it, you will love it, I can't. And I don't mean to, and I'm not deliberately trying to be edgy by not watching it.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
just got it doesn't happen for me. And I have had advice sometimes where people have, and again, this is no disrespect to people that do it because I get why they do it and I trust their process. But people will say to me, you need to put for fans of this person, and this person, come and listen to me. And
yeah,
I get compared to people, right? And I'm always like, shut up, what? And like, I find it very complimentary. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want you to compare me to someone. But that's it. That's the songwriter ego, right?
yeah.
But I cannot advertise myself in that way because I feel like if I do that, then I'm going to try. I feel like if I try and have a genre or if I try and sound like something, then that's all I'm going to sound like. But oh, someone's put a comment. 100% agree. The more people try to get me to listen to something, the less inclined I'll be to watch or listen. Do you know what? We're bratty with it, aren't we? But it's just the way I can't do it, and I've missed out on some seriously good stuff because of it.
Yeah. I've been around a while. Look how great. Look how fucking
Have you
great this
seen
is.
my graves?
So I've been around a while, and like you said, essentially, it's all been done. There's still some really great twists, really great individual.
Yeah,
It's been done, but doing it your way.
yeah, and I'm
So
not
there's still
like
great stuff to find, but
just
where
yeah,
some people are, and because when it comes to the whole pop culture thing, however, I've stopped fucking around with guitars and decided to do this instead. Because I have always just eaten it all, just eat, sleep, breathe, movies, music, video games,
yeah,
novels, comic books, that all of it, give it me, give it me, give it me, give it me. So I've been doing that for 40 years or so.
yeah.
So at this point, I am kind of hard to impress.
I'm the easiest
When
person
I'm
in the
watching
world to
something,
impress.
listening to something, I know it's good, but that buzz from
Yeah,
the first time you heard whatever it might be, whatever your thing, whatever your era, whatever your age group,
yeah,
generation might be, the first time you heard Nirvana, the first time you heard whatever it could be, you you're probably never going to get that again.
yeah.
There comes a point,
Yeah,
no matter how good shit's still out there, but you're probably never going to feel that way again. So it, in a horrible way, it makes everything seem average, even though some of it's genuinely really, really fucking good. But you just
so for me,
don't feel that way about it like you used to do.
so I'm quite good because I've got some kind of childlike stuff's quite new to me. Like if somebody sounds like a bit like something else, it doesn't just automatically make me think, oh well, they're like them but not as good. I still can really enjoy it,
Yeah,
but there's a bit of a. I once heard. I've heard a few times. A lot of comedians say this when they're talking seriously about their stuff, and they say, "If you introduce me as the funniest man in the world, you have ruined my show from
yeah,
the beginning."
Yeah.
And I feel the way when people, do you know, it's hard to say this, but I have had people introduce me to other people, or just before I've got on, and they've been like, "Oh, Katrina's amazing," and I'm like, "Don't say that, please don't say that," because I don't think I'm amazing. I think I'm all right, and I'm glad you're going to listen to me. Still, get my songs, guys. I'm all right. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think that that is the way to do it. So if I said to someone, personally, if I said to someone, "Oh, listen to me, I'm like this person, this person, and this person," those people are usually great. You know, they are the reason we compare ourselves to them are because they're the bar.
Yeah.
So if I compare myself to them, I'm already setting that bar right up here with people that have got that bar set. And I don't want to do that. I want to be taken on my own merit first. And then let other people compare me to someone if they want to. Because if they think that I'm as good as that person, wow, like that's, or if they think I'm good enough to even compare to that person or to put them in the same sentence or conversation
Yeah.
as that person, I'm never going to be anything but absolutely flabbergasted by that. But I'm never going to do it myself because I don't think it. And it's like writing an artist bio. Oh God, right, I can't do it. I'm a writer and I cannot write
Yeah.
it. And somebody once wrote one for me and sent it to me. So, and at first it was in the third person, and I've sent a bio recently. I'm like, I'm not doing it in the third person. I'm sorry. I will say I because it is me writing it. Because I can't do that. But then they wrote it, and it were really lovely what they wrote. They put, you know, enchanting vocals and lyrical beauty, and I'm like, I cannot say that about myself. I would honestly no, 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 no. But I struggle with that, and I again, no disrespect to people who do it. I just struggle with that. Maybe that is
Yeah.
something internal that I should
We
fix.
just, I mean, I think the kind of compromise, certainly not a cop out, but I think the sort of compromise, the way to sort of sidestep that is once you've got some stuff out there,
Yeah,
and you've got some live shows now, and you've got people see, get
quote.
get
Yeah.
reviews and quotes, and your bio is like, want to know about me? Here's what these people
Do you
think,
know?
and
Um,
just put it all on them.
You know, Misery Prize. You recently interviewed them. So Ryan, who was in the Misery Prize,
A lovely, clean cut young man, if ever there was one.
one of my oldest mates, right? I used to. He's also an author. I don't know if
Yeah,
like you went over
yeah,
that with him, but he used to advertise his books with reviews from people that didn't like them. I thought it was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen. Because I think there was this one guy, and I don't even think he read Ryan's books, but he like trolled him. It was so weird. Um,
yeah,
and that was what he used. That's what he used as the root. And I was like, that's cool. Like that is cool. I like that. I once mocked up a fake poster of myself, and it was stuff like should do more covers and looks like a vegan. Because I have had those things said. You're probably a vegan, you aren't you? And I'd be like, I'm not. But I wonder what made you think that. Like, but
yeah.
yeah, it's.
You
I
know,
think how.
I I, I apparently look like someone who smokes weed.
Yeah.
Apparently, so I've been told. To the point, I was just getting off the train. I was coming home from rehearsal. I haven't got far from the train station. It's like a 10-minute walk from the train station to home. It took me well over an hour to get home. Right at the train station, some guy, you know the guy, uh, you know, dirty baseball cap, dirty t-shirt, jogging bottoms, you know, crappy trainers.
Hey,
Asked
that
me
sounds
if I
like
can,
me.
asked me if I can lend him a, you know,
Was it me?
can I, can I lend him a smoke? No, I don't smoke, mate. Sorry. And he follows me, keeps walking as I'm walking, and he's like, "You got any weed on you?" I'm like, I don't smoke anything. At this point, I'm like, I don't smoke either, or I've got nothing. Go on. And he's nagging me. I'm trying to walk home and he's just following me like a little lost puppy.
Because
like,
you look like you're lying about
and he actually said it. He actually said, oh, go on, you look like one. You look like one. He actually said it. He was convinced I must have some because I look like this. And I was like, I mean, if you'd have caught me a couple of years ago, you'd have been on a winner. But like at that point, it was a no. It was a genuine no, and I didn't want to take him home, so I took him on a tour of the town to see how long this would carry on. Over an hour before I managed to turn the corner and look behind, and he actually didn't turn with me. And then
because it was that unbelievable that
over an hour, he just tugged at my sleeve and asked for service.
He wasn't having any of it, was he?
I was like, I mean, there's looking like one, and there's being followed for an hour, being that convincing.
I mean, being followed for an hour is not a comfortable situation to be in by anyone's standards.
I mean,
sounds like you handled it in a friendly way, which is cool.
I mean, I'm a small child-sized man, you know.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, we talk about we'll talk about some movies in a moment, but we talk about the hot topic being like representation and diversity and what have you. And you know, I look at these movies and I agree. I think it's a great thing. I think we need it done the right way. I think it definitely is something we need, and I can feel that way because I'm still waiting for my representation. I know you're thinking, yeah, because there's no straight white guys saving the universe in Hollywood.
I wasn't going to say that.
You can only see this right
I'll
now.
be honest with you. What I was going to say was, do you not feel represented like by Gandalf?
Yeah.
Because you look like a wizard.
Because like, what else is? Where are all the short ass? Where are all the short, soft-bodied guys? You know, I can't look at Chris Hemsworth, whoever, and go, yeah, that's me. That is. I feel represented. I don't.
I'm trying to think now, but yeah.
We thought we were on a winner because, you know, my kind, you know, munchkins. The vertically challenged, I think, is the correct term these days. But one day I will inherit the Jaffa Cake Kingdom. Anyway.
I'm quite tall.
I mean, Tom Cruise is out there, but it's a bit of an anomaly. You know, it's like really high-profile midgets go. As kind of A-list midgets go, Tom's your boy, right? It's his birthday today as well, and he's probably watching. Happy birthday, Tom!
Hey, hi, Tom. Yeah. How's the science?
But he doesn't seem to like to talk about that much anymore, although he's still a fully paid-up member, I believe.
Hey, listen, do you know what? I think they should start one from after
now.
Cool.
Keep moving now because the Scientology people are probably listening and they have snipers. So I'm just going to make it as difficult. I suggest you do the same. We've got GPS on the phones and shit. So anyway.
I'm into the idea of starting a whole movement based on Arthur C. Clarke's Rama series, because apart from the inevitability of humanity destroying a utopian paradise that was given to us by aliens of an absolutely phenomenal intellect, like the whole just them giving us that Rama, selecting people, was becoming spacefaring people, and technology doing all of the difficult stuff so we can enjoy the arts and the music. You know, that's the science fiction future I want. I want biots looking after the sort of the work. This is So we've got all of this technology and all this automation, and at the moment there's this whole AI generated art thing going on, and it's like, so we've got the robots doing art instead of doing like the roadworks. What is going on?
Yeah, it's backwards.
It was very sad. We got us. So I was in Spiral City on the arcade, and we were talking about these 15-minute cities. I think I wasn't. They were talking about these 15-minute cities before I got in there, and then one of the guys in there had Chat GPT, and he put into it for it to write a song about 15-minute cities. And then me and my mate Shane Morrill, who was a musician from Barnsley, getting booked. We played it and sang it, and it was thought provoking. It was well written. The wordplay and rhyming couplets were pretty, and I went home and I cried. I was sad for about a week. But I had to remind myself to feel better about it, that AI is generated from content that we put on.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing. As it improves at the ridiculous exponential rate that it does, people are getting very up in arms about it. Somewhat, there's some logic to it.
Just use it to build.
Artists of all types are doing everything they can to try and protect themselves in any contracts and whatever.
Rightly they should.
And rightly so, yeah. But I think, for the most part, I mean, even as it gets better and better, and it's pretty damn good as it is, but even as it gets better and better, what AI will do to the people who don't like it, because I'm kind of like, I see the benefits and I say, I'm really on the fence with it.
But yeah, if they're making
AI,
arts with it.
There was an entirely AI written, generated movie, a short film, really. I think it was played in a few cinemas in that there London, and with the protests and shit outside, so they just closed it down. It wasn't worth the hassle, so they just stopped showing it. The thing is, people tend to only dislike AI stuff when they're told it's AI. Like, if you just didn't know, if you just look at it, listen to it, watch it, and just tell me if you like it, chances are you will.
I think that
because the thing, what AI can do, it will, like any other algorithm, it knows what you want, it knows what you'll like, and it can give you that. So you will like it.
But that's right.
Only morally, ethically, you can then go, oh no, this is horrible because it's by AI.
But actually, I think our opinions should be based on our morals and our ethics often. And I think that if I was so for example, if I was buying something from a small business and I thought, this is great, I really like what they're making, and I was buying something from there and giving them my money that I don't earn a lot of money because I don't really like it that much, but I know I've got to have it to survive and have things, right? So I will give it to other places that I think I want that to be where it goes to. But then if I found out that the morals of those people that I was buying that stuff from were actually dangerous to people I care about, for example, in long time ago in another country in Europe, there was this National Socialist Party that was out, and if somebody found out that party was providing what they wanted, they would stop buying from that party if they were not in line with their morals, because that party was hurting people that they cared about. That is quite important, right? So if this AI is damaging the people's livelihoods of people that actually put this stuff together, I think you should be able to make a decision on whether or not you consume that and damage the other people's livelihoods. Personally, I think if people want to watch it that's been generated by that, they should be able to choose. But I don't think that I think we would always make our decisions on face value based on whether we like something. And the thing is, nobody's saying that it's not producing anything cool. they're saying it's taking work away from the people that are actually putting effort into making it. So I think that it should be advertised that it's made by AI.
It definitely should. It definitely should be clearly labelled as most things should, except people. But
do you know what I get labelled?
I mean, maybe labelled as person. I mean, but beyond that,
I went a bit too political then, didn't I?
but that's the thing. Now it's as AI, like you said, like with writing your own songs, like versus like playing covers. If you want give the people what they want, okay, so I'll play some Foo Fighters and some Taylor Swift, and that's great. That's AI. It will give you what you want. It will check your algorithm. It knows what the other things you listen to. It knows what you like. It takes all that information and it regurgitates it, and you will like it.
Yeah.
You can find it. You can like morally, ethically dislike it because it's AI, but you will fucking like it if you were honest. It will give you something you like. Like the average kind of the average male asking AI to make a film, right? Are they going to watch The Incredible Space Adventures of Exploding Tits? Yes, they are.
I mean, that sounds pretty funny.
They're going to like it. And they're going to like it. They're going to be so hyped for The Incredible Space Adventures of Exploding Tits 2, like the minute they finished watching it.
Honestly, I mean, we've seen how many Fast and Furiouses have been made. Yeah. I don't know if that's made by AI or not.
There's probably less soul and art involved than if AI did, to be honest.
I read something the other day that said that 2001: A Space Odyssey wouldn't actually wouldn't get watched as much these days because of the pace, and because there's no real peaks and troughs in it, and there's no explosive ending.
Yeah.
I mean, the ending I thought was pretty explosive, but by today's standards, perhaps not, right? And I think that that's part of it. So we've got to think about the national temperature and the way things have evolved. People need to be stimulated, and we're constantly overstimulated. Yeah. So we're desensitized because we've got constant access to information now. Films have been overly descriptive now. So you don't, I mean, sometimes I get a bit frustrated. I'll be watching a film and the person will describe in great detail what's just happened, what's about to happen, and what their thought process is behind that. No subtleties. And I'm like, you didn't need to tell me that. And actually, I got that. I felt smart from getting that, and you just ruined it.
Yeah, no. I was saying this not too long ago. You've got every film now, like even like films aimed at either family or even children, are all like 2.5 hours long. And my film watching sort of, the heyday, like the 80s, early 90s, it was like 80 to 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Where it was like a good quality action or comedy movie, whatever, because you can tell this. And I feel like most of the stories that have been told in these 2.5 hour epics could easily be told in an hour and a half. It's because of that repetition. As you say, something tends to happen, something happens, then a character talks about the thing that happened, then the character meets some other character who wasn't there and tells them about it. And
do you know what gets me the most?
3-4 times, essentially. Then there might be a flashback. And it's like, you could chop a good 45 minutes out of almost every film that's been made in the last 10 years.
It's classic
easily.
Speech making.
Just through repetition.
Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you've told them. Like, I got taught that when I used to be a business trainer, and I used to be like, this is how you deliver a presentation. But to the extent where somebody will say to his wife, oh, what it is, I'm the kind of person, back in, 2 years ago, I used to do this, 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 and this. And you think, well, she was there. Or someone will say to her brother, our grandma, her name is Hillary. Like, literally something like that. And you're like... And I'm exaggerating, or
not
I'm,
really. No.
But no, I probably am not. that bothers me. I think that subtlety's gone out of cinema. I don't think it's gone. I don't think it's gone. Like, there will be blood. Brilliant. You know, there's subtleties to acting still happening. No Country for Old Men. You know, I read that was one of the most clinically accurate depictions of a psychopath. He don't really say much. He's not over explaining anything. It's still there,
Yeah.
and creativity is still giving us
Oh, no.
magic in creativity. It's still making us think, and there's still thoughts being provoked. But the overarching sort of trend, I think, is spoon feeding, which is, I don't know. I'm not saying I like, as a songwriter. I wouldn't say I don't do that, because I like people to understand what I'm saying. But I also do a lot of wordplay, and I'll have a line in a song and it'll have to mean a few things to me, and people might not know that. So there's one song that's not on the album. It's got a line in it, for example, and it says like, "You wave goodbye, and all your waves just crash onto my shore." And it's a song about someone who's given up on life, right? So you wave goodbye, as in, you know, when you waive a fee, but then you wave goodbye as well. So she's
Yeah.
waved goodbye, as in she's decided not to go, right? And then her waves crash onto my shore, as in, you know, visually water, but also it crashes onto my certainty. I don't know now if she's doing that. People aren't going to get that immediately. I've got to tell them that, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to tell them that unless they ask me about it. So someone might get a different nuance of a song that I've written. Sometimes people really do. People will say, "I like that. That could mean that or that," and I love it when people get it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I write for myself more first, and I love it when people listen to it. I love it when people relate to it. I love it when people love it. I love it when people don't even know why they like it. I love it the most when people say that they've danced barefoot in their kitchen on a Sunday to it, because that was my entire end game in music. Like, and
Yeah.
I've got there.
Yeah. No, I mean, nobody ever listened to my shit, and certainly didn't get it. But that was the thing that used to. I'm quite glad because in the sense that it meant that I didn't get any like the criticism, or I didn't get people misinterpreting it. Because on the one hand, I'd yeah, like yourself, I like to wordplay and kind of be a bit arty with it and have fun with it. Everything I ever wrote, I always had a message. Nothing was ever the sky's blue and I love you. The birds are singing and winging and minging and flinging and whatever. You
So
know,
that's always a good
there
song as
was
well.
always something, and I meant it. By God, did I mean it?
Yeah,
You know, however wrapped up in artistic bows it might have been.
yeah,
But I've always been a huge fan of lyrics, and I've always been a bit of a snob like that when getting in conversations with people and they don't know. Like, it's your favorite song. Oh, you love that song. And then you don't even know. So I go, oh, yeah, me too. Start conversation about what the song's about. And is it? Really? Oh, I didn't know. And,
so
like, I feel like it would, like, that's when it's someone else's song. And it used to kind of drive me nuts a little bit. If it was mine, this is a song about my friend who was suffering with depression after his mum was suicidal, but it all kind of worked out in the end, and it's very
yeah.
sad, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's incredibly deep and meaningful, and I pretty much cry every time I perform it. And you think it's about bananas and how much the price has gone up.
I mean, the price
I
has gone
don't
up
know
on
if
the
I could
now.
handle that.
I so I like it. I'll be honest. So, you know, if somebody says to me something about a song and it's a side of that song I didn't see, not one of mine, one
Yeah,
by somebody else, I'm always like, wow, I didn't get that. Or if someone didn't get it, I love being the person to open their eyes up to that. it's exciting for me. Like when somebody says, "Oh, I've never read Animal Farm, Katrina. I'm going to read it." I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so jealous that that's new to you." Like
Yeah,
I've read
yeah,
that. I like to read something as an adult that I read as a kid because it's a different book, right? The Secret Garden was a different book to me as an adult. There's this. I was talking to someone about it the other day, and they were like, Katrina, I read a bit out to them, and I was like, listen to this, and do you know The Secret Garden?
yeah, I do,
Like,
yeah.
Martha says to Mary, she's describing something about the characters, and Martha says something quite racist to Mary, and someone goes, "How can you like that?" And I'm like, that is what she would have said.
Yeah.
She would have said that. As an adult, that was more profound to me than it was as a kid. As a kid, actually, I didn't like it. As a kid, it hurt me to read that in a book that I liked because The Secret Garden was such an important book to me. Like Dickens is one of the greatest people in the world. They talked to the animals, but like it hurt me to read something that kind of stung me as a kid that was experiencing words like that sometimes being said at me, right? And as an adult, I found it profound. I was like, that's what she would have said. That's really good writing. As a songwriter, there's one song, and sometimes I'll introduce it. I'll be like, "This sounds like a love song or a song to someone that you." It's called "Losing to You," and it's a song, and it's like you're singing it to a person. It sounds all the way through it like it's a song to a person, but it's actually to your dark side. And it's I keep losing to that person. It's like, you should have let me walk away when I first tried to, because now you get to see what happens when the demons break through, sort of thing, or something along them lines. And it's like when that dark breaks through, it's my dark side, and I don't act that out, but when I'm writing it, it's quite important sometimes when I'm performing it that people know it's not to a person, but sometimes I like that it's open to that interpretation.
Yeah.
Uh, it depends what mood I'm in when I'm performing. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't explain the songs beforehand because it kind of takes away somebody's opportunity to interpret it how they want to, because that's for them. Once it's out of my mouth, it's not mine anymore. It doesn't
Yeah,
belong
yeah.
to me. And I want them to be able to listen to that song and for it to mean whatever they need it to mean for them, because I've got my meaning from that song. I've got what I need from it, and I get to express that, convey that, and actually vent and fight my own demons by writing. But I don't think I own someone else's interpretation of it. And I think that was something. It was once. I was in conversation with someone once, and they were on about. Oh, I was telling them something, and they said, "Oh, I won't tell anyone that you've said that." And I went, "I wouldn't have told it you if you couldn't."
Yeah.
And I know that that's different for different people, but I was like, once I've told you that, it's not mine anymore. And then I realized that I felt like that about everything. So my songs mean something to me, and as a songwriter, sometimes if someone misses something, I like to tell them about it, but it doesn't hurt me if they don't get it. And because like one thing I like the idea of is writing a song that people love to listen to and dance to, and then 10 years down the line they play it acoustically. Like, I've listened to songs before where it's been a banger or a cheesy pop song, and then I've played it acoustically and I've been like, oh my God, oh my God, like, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I want that. Sometimes I like the idea of that because it's not mine anymore once I say it out loud. Like everything I'm saying to you now, it doesn't belong to me anymore.
Yeah.
Once this video is out, if someone wants to share it out of context, a clip of it, that is unfortunately the world that we are in. And
But of course, some songs aren't really open to interpretation, or not intentionally anyway. Some songs are very on the nose.
yeah,
It's a song about
like
this,
what?
and and yet people still get it wrong because people pick up on, either people just don't even listen to the lyrics because the melody's nice or whatever, and they're just not even listening to the words at all, really.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I mean, none of us knew that the word trombolese was even a word, did we?
I think if you, I mean, let's old people talk, but if you remember "You're Gorgeous" by Baby Bird,
2 chords, one of the first ones I learned.
a song that's not open to interpretation to me in any shape, form, or way, a song that's about female exploitation, objectification, and pornography, just straight up.
And nobody
It's
got
not cryptic.
it.
It's not remotely cryptic. It's just right there.
Yeah.
And yet, everybody was singing along with smiles on their faces. Everybody wanted to karaoke it. I saw someone propose to his girlfriend while singing it. He's on one knee.
You're gorgeous.
You're gorgeous. Because they only heard "You're Gorgeous" and just
not on every table in every lounge.
Tuned out every other lyric in the entire song. And it drove me that really drove me nuts. I thought, what does the guy, I mean, maybe he doesn't care. He made a shit ton of money. It was a huge hit. Well, I like to think he did. Or somebody did.
Listen,
anyway, out of that song.
Somebody who I lovingly refer to these days as JKKK, we'll leave that there, has recently advertised that she thought that Lolita was a beautiful love story.
Okay.
So interpretation is, it belongs to the beholder.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, with the "You're Gorgeous" thing. I mean, I you know, you could sing, I can't sing, but just to jog anybody's memory, it was the one that said, "You're gorgeous," right? That one. You know it now. You get it.
Yeah.
So
you said I wasn't cheap. You paid me £20. You said you'd put me in a magazine on every table in every lounge.
But what it got, and everybody's acceptance and embracing of this song completely wrong, got me thinking, with the right melody, if that was "Heil Hitler, I'll do anything for you," it'd have just been just as big a hit, because nobody was really listening, clearly.
I mean, let's be honest. At the moment, people are demonstrating that you can have your mind changed about that person, apparently. So vote green tomorrow, everybody. For God's sake, vote green tomorrow. If you care about your children, if you want them to eat at school rather than to have stuff forced down their throat that's incorrect, just vote green. Who don't want a 4-day working week? I mean, I know that's not the top of the list of the good things that they're on about doing, but come on. Vote with kindness, not with stupidity and hatred. Sorry, back to us. It's just, I think that I think the fact that that things can be called the opiate of the masses, and I once read a really good book by a guy called Glenn Duncan, and it's called I, Lucifer, and it's from the point of view of the devil, and it's quite a cool book, and it talks about the it's like the mob wasn't owned by Lucifer, it was owned by God. God needed he needed the crucifixion to happen for what he was doing with Jesus and what have you, and the mob got that done. So it wasn't Lucifer whispering. This is, I'm not being religious. It's the storyline. Wasn't Lucifer whispering in the ears of the mob. It was God, because the righteous and the righteously indignant are mob-minded, and being mob-minded is louder, and people won't listen to your quiet, contemplating, thoughtful, considerate, kind leaders like Corb's would have been. They will listen to the caterwauling, shrieking, charisma, performance politics that we are constantly faced with, and having decent voices drowned out by. So yes, I think that they could absolutely misinterpret a song that was Sig Helen. Like, absolutely. The National Socialists would be able to get a song down. I mean, when I was a kid, I read Mein Kampf, and I was like, shut up. They didn't do well with this book. It's absolute nonsense. Shut up. And I mean, that was as a kid, and I knew it would have been. It had been sort of it'd been interpreted. I was reading it from one language to another. I took that into consideration, but honestly, the most literate part of that book was the introduction by someone else. And I was, as a kid, thinking, come on, like, but I'm 38 now, and I'm looking around, and sometimes the ignorance that it's easy to glean from people is based on mob mentality. It's based on pulling at the strings of ignorance rather than intellect. You know, it's easier done, and we've all got levels of ignorance. We've all got that, and it's easier to listen to because we don't feel stressed about it if we can hate rather than care, or if we can exclude rather than include, or if we can try and trample all over someone's right to exist and survive in safety rather than understand them. Like, let's just stop being dicks to each other. For God's sake, vote green.
Well, I don't know about voting green, but if there was a party political broadcast and someone just went, stop being dicks to each other, they'd have more chance of getting my vote than some of the shit that most of them are talking. And I mean, all shapes, sizes, colours, classes, creeds. Definitely. It's just such simple common sense.
It be like just being kind really always tends to come from smart, intelligent people, and being unkind tends to be steeped in a lack of understanding or a lack of wanting to. I can't ever see the benefit of not being nice to each other. And then people will kind of come, you know, obviously, clearly, which way is the camera going? It's obvious which direction I lean in, right? But people will say, oh, I thought the lefties were tolerant. Like, nah, show me on the guillotine when we said that.
It's still, I mean, oh my God.
I think being kind has got to always prevail. But, you know, where do we start? But yeah, mob mentality and getting something through with a good melody, a catchy tune, or a shouty bit of charisma that riles up the crowds. We know what wins.
Yeah, I mean, this is why Miss Swift, Taylor, if I can call you that, if you're watching, she's probably watching. I mean, everybody watches this.
Listen, if Tay-Tay's watching,
probably,
like, wow.
probably wants. I mean, I would suggest. I mean, I'm sure she has a fair amount of money spent everywhere she goes on security.
Yeah.
I would say treble it. And I mean, I'm pretty sure she's good for it. Because if history's taught me anything, it's that whether it's my cup of tea or not, but when an artist, and especially these rock and roll people, get to a certain level that they start to be able to influence, they disappear.
It's right? Dangerous. I mean,
like it happened to Marley. It happened to Lennon. You know,
yeah.
I mean, I'll get me tinfoil hat if it helps. Because,
no, I mean,
but
Taylor's
I'm not saying it was.
She's
them,
feeding hungry kids in our country and demonstrating what our government could have done with a quick swipe on the banking app, right? Like, I've been seeing news articles about. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the things, you know, when artists re-release stuff in a tiny different version, so that their super fans have to buy 4 or 5 different versions of something, I don't personally dig that as a person, right? Yeah. But when it takes an American musician to come into our country, perform here, and they, in one fell swoop, fund a food bank for a year in the city that they've performed in, it demonstrates that the people in charge could have done that just as easily, because they spent a load of money on a load of masks that they couldn't use once. You know, the Prime Minister currently put before he was the Prime Minister, he did stuff hedge funding and banking that put our country in the shit. So that amount of money could feed kids. And she has demonstrated that it's a quick swipe on a banking app to feed kids for a year, right? That are starving here in a country she doesn't live in or have a horse in the race of.
Yeah.
When it takes someone that people will mock for being, for people say, you know, spoon-fed this and spoon-fed that. Wildest Dreams, I think, is a really lovely song. I think that she can write a catchy pop song, and I think she can write a meaningful song. I think she can perform as an acoustic artist and as a big blitzy, sort of glitzy and glamorous fireworks in the background. I think that she's
that's just game recognizing game, isn't it?
It's just, she's great at what she does. I couldn't diss her. I couldn't diss the lass, right? And I know people have got their own ideas about what great music is, but honestly, like, she's not only done that successfully, but she's showing people up that should be feeding kids by feeding kids. Like, what's
yeah, you know, but
even if I didn't like her music, I would listen to it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A big celebrity pet peeve of mine. Pick a cause, any cause, and some guy goes, you know what? Let's auction my guitar, and then all the money goes to charity, and somebody buys it for a ridiculous amount of money. It goes to charity, and this celebrity gets loads of credit for giving money to charity, having never put their hand in their pocket in any shape, form, or way. The dude who bought the guitar gave that cause a shit ton of money. The celebrity deserves no credit whatsoever. They potentially have the ability
if they donated
given that money. They potentially, not all, because not all celebrities are as well off as we think they are. Because some are rich and some are famous. The two things are not mutually always.
I do think,
but in the case of some people, they definitely genuinely have the money in the bank.
Yeah.
And they go, you know what? Here's a piece of memorabilia that obviously doesn't actually mean as much to me as I'm going to claim it does. And someone else can fund this good cause. And they come off looking good. And I've always,
I get it. I'm always, you know who you're talking to. I'm going to pick the positive out of it, right? And I think that I
need more of that.
Are donating a thing, and people are, it's in an auction. More people are interested in that charity immediately based on that auction existing. Somebody gets something cool and pays for something cool. The celebrity usually donates something as well. They usually donate money as well, but the awareness raised is always a good thing. Like, I really do think that getting everybody scrambling to have this cool item is probably better than the celebrity saying, oh, I donated to that. They can do both. A lot of them do, some of them don't. I don't know. I think it's, for me, if somebody has got a lot of money, what they do with it, whether or not they benefit, doesn't matter to me. So Manny Pacquiao, a boxer I don't love because he made some homophobic comments, he has housed so many people. Like, I think it was like 300 something people in one place, and they put all these millions of pounds or whatever towards making all these houses, and he gave them to the community. And then Floyd Mayweather, a boxer I also don't love because he's a dick, bought an £18 million watch. Arturo Gatti, who's not with us anymore, my favourite boxer of all time, only wanted to fight Floyd Mayweather because he's a woman beater. Right? I will love him forever for wanting that, just for that reason. And he didn't, you know what I mean? Like, and he also, the best fight trilogy, Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti, watch them all if you've not done, guys, because they are brilliant. Before boxing became, performance politics like everything else. I like fighting sports, and I have hair braids at the same time. Whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not always massive on sports, but there are some sports that I've had interest in growing up, and it matters to me what the people doing that sport also do with their platform. Tyson Fury, he stands there and he's quite hateful, and he managed to get this sort of love from people for being all about men's mental health, but actually all he cared about was his own mental health, and he was actually quite mean to his wife on TV. So I don't know what that was all about, but then you do get other people in those areas that want to do stuff for other people. So it's a platform's brilliant, and to a certain point, you get, if you want, you get certain level of rich, automatically, you kind of have got responsibilities to be given to people and doing more. But if you're doing the giving and you're rich, and we know you can claim it back on taxes and expenses, and we know you can do this and we know you can do that, and we know, Tay Tay, that you're probably rich because you've done 17 versions of the same song with one different word in each song. Only kidding. Not really. But do you know what I mean? We know we don't necessarily like why someone's rich, but do you know what? If they're doing something good with it, let's at least be happy about that, because rich people are going to exist, unfortunately, because there's no maximum wage. But but it's what they do with it is at least they're doing that good thing, and at least they're influencing people. She's influencing girls to be nice to each other, which I love rap, but Cardi B's not in, and Nicki Minaj aren't influencing girls to be nice to each other. It's all about, I could have your man, and I could do this, and I could do that. And it's like, do you know what? Taylor Swift concerts, girls give each other friendship bracelets, and that's a massive trend. They come back with them all over each other's arms because they made them for each other. And that might be a small thing to some people, but if there's more love in the world, then the world is better. And how we ended up waxing lyrical about Tay Tay. But for me, it's what we do with the platform.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Everyone should be judged on what they do. It's just a real basic thing. It's not what no. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you've come from. It doesn't matter how you got there. It doesn't matter where you are, how you got there. Not everybody can be Keanu Reeves, right?
But they
apparently, allegedly, the nicest human being ever to humans.
If anything,
if everything's to be believed. The guy's like either agrees to make you movie. I should probably get him on here because I can't see him saying no. I've just got to find his contact details to ask him.
If you want to see, Keanu,
the other week is some guy, totally random guy, like nothing to do with like Hollywood movies or anything, but they've saved up their pennies and they're going to book some fancy hotel for their wedding and the reception.
I saw that.
Yeah, and the bride and groom have gone a day early or whatever before the rest of the guests turn up. Keanu's there for whatever Keanu's there, and just strolls up to the bar, starts having a drink. They have a chat. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, I'm filming down the road, whatever. What are you doing here? Oh, I'm getting married tomorrow. If you want to come, and he does.
Yeah, just rocks up.
Because you just do, because he's got time for that shit.
And he knows that that's a bigger deal to them than it could possibly have imagined. Then he knows that him turning up to their wedding and actually giving them that time is a huge thing to them, and he does it. I know some people that have asked someone to sign something, and that person's not signed it because they didn't want that. They didn't like the idea of that person making money off of the item. And I was like, if I'm ever important enough for people to be able to make money off of my item, I'll sign everything they own. Why would you not? Why would you not? And I think Keanu Wood, he seems like that kind of person. Just I don't know. I was watching a thing the other day, and kindness is so easy. And being lovely to people and wanting them to do well is so easy. And the idea of not wanting someone to make money off of your thing that they've purchased You've already got what you did. That your part of that transaction's already over. If that person can eat for a year on it, what? Why would you not? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean,
I'm not. I know
yeah,
that's not what the him turning up was about, but like those people have got that extra thing on their memory for their wedding for the rest of
yeah.
their life. That's a
And,
story like no other.
and when you look at the photos, it's the international Hollywood superstar that looks awkward as fuck. Like, I
Yeah.
don't like having my picture taken.
Bernie's put Tom Hanks has done similar things too. I have read that. I have read that. Do you know I once read one about a guy. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember who it was. Maybe I don't know. Where he will go up to people and like just nick a chip off them and go, "No one's going to believe you."
That's great.
Hey Thomas, one of my offspring's watching. Hey.
So yeah, we are on a Sniktcast, so I'm going to say that if we're talking about Keanu Reeves, my favorite Keanu Reeves movie, The Bad Batch.
Okay. 3 weeks.
The Bad Batch. Because nobody ever mentions it, and nobody watched it, and he's the bad guy. Well, he's not the bad guy.
I've not seen it. I've not seen it. So.
A bad guy, which is just an interesting thing to watch because he doesn't do it that often. He's done it more often than people think in movies that you didn't see because they're low budget and didn't get hyped to fuck.
He does some serious low budget stuff though, doesn't he? Like he has taken part in some low budget stuff. In fact, did he not say no to one thing?
It's all just a game. It's all cowboys and Indians. It's all dress up and fun, and the ridiculousness of getting paid to fuck around, playing pretend.
Yeah.
So he give him a story. He goes, "That's fun." Or do you want me to? Can I be that guy? That sounds like no. We want you to be the lead, and he'll be like, "No, that guy. That guy sounds like fun. I want to be that guy. If you can give me that guy, I'll do it."
I don't know if it's Keanu that's done the thing where he's like taken a massive drop in a wage to get another cool actor involved that he wanted to work with and stuff.
Yeah, he did that on The Devil's Advocate to get Pacino.
Oh, yeah, I heard. Yeah,
he's probably done it more than once, I imagine. But he definitely did it on Devil's Advocate to get Pacino.
Yeah.
He just thought, yeah, Pacino's the devil. Just puts this film on another level. I like it. It's a good script, good story. We get that.
I'm trying to think of low budget films that I like that will always hold a place in my heart. I don't even know if it's low budget actually, but remember the Monster Squad? With
yeah. Oh God,
Dr. Alucard and Wolfman's got nards.
Oh, yeah.
We all thought a silver bullet was going to save our lives one day.
Just mine. I mean, I'm personally not over fond on having a firearm around the house.
No.
But, I mean, I don't know. Is that necessary?
My name is Horace. Yes.
If I could throw the bullet hard enough, or if I could just like jam it in his eye, will that still work?
If you do it really fast, but like Ian's put, that's such a great line. Remember as a kid when he went, "My name is Horace." You don't get that anymore. The underdog isn't necessarily.
Those action movie one, like knock knock, anything like that is great.
I'm trying, like stuff like that's just not. It's not. I love that movie too. Honestly, I would show you guys it, but I've got like a metal plaque on my wall downstairs that's like an old. It's like a metal, you know, the metal things you can get that are decorative, but it's a movie poster of Monster Squad because that's how much I loved that movie. It meant a lot to me and my brothers. We used to fast forward the VCR till the end. Anyone from this generation, like you're not going to get, but you used to fast forward it to the end so it would rewind quicker and then we'd watch it again. Do you know what I mean? Because it was that good. It was a great film, really good. I mean, it was a great film that wasn't a great film. That's the point. And
it's a kind of probably like right place, right time.
Yeah, coming of age.
I'm not sure.
I don't know if kids today would like it. Yeah. But then again, I showed my kids when my kids were little. I showed them some really cool stuff, you know. But I have children. They are bigger than me. But you know, like the never-ending story. Someone posted a picture the other day where it was sort of a trail and the horse,
Yeah.
and it was in a plant pot. Wait, it's too soon. It's too soon. It's too soon.
Yeah.
Don't give up. The sadness.
No.
And we did you? I don't know if I got how profound the sadness taking over and a horse giving up actually was. Really, to that
And
extent.
I don't know if I should say this, but as we've decided we should just say whatever we say, the horse did actually die in real life from the stress of that scene. Yeah.
No! Stop!
Yeah.
Take it back! Make it not be
Yeah, I'm
said!
sorry. Yeah, it's a German movie, and the sort of the German, also like early 80s or whatever, health and safety
Oh, that's
didn't really
so.
apply too much to the. Yeah, it's kind of. I know people who love it as much
I
as
didn't even know
most of
it
us
was
do
a
at a
real
certain age,
horse, to be
but they
honest.
now will leave the room as that scene's about to happen. Just
Yeah.
cannot. What it was
Now I
always
don't think I'll ever be able to
always
watch that
harrowing,
again.
and then the little bit of I gave that little tidbit of information, and now they just can't watch the scene at all.
I think I'm probably I'm the same. So
Understandably.
now that's it was dark anyway because the horse gave up because of the sadness.
Yeah.
But now that I know it was a real horse and the real horse actually did perish in that because of the stress of that, I kind of hate Never Ending Story, and I never have done before. Because
Yeah, a better reason. A better reason to hate Never Ending Story is if there wasn't a Never Ending Story, then there wouldn't be a Never Ending Story 3. which would be great if that wasn't the thing. Or 2, really.
Yeah, but Mean Girls,
3.
I love Mean Girls, and if there wasn't a Mean Girls, there wouldn't have been a Mean Girls 2, which was dreadful. I got told off the other day. Somebody said to me, "How can you like Mean Girls being the person that you are, Katrina? Because it's got all those stereotypes in it." And I'm like, "That's the point. You didn't
Yeah, it's
they're talking about the stereotypes, and the point of that film is that there shouldn't be."
It's kind of it's a satire, really.
I mean, I love it that I've talked about There Will Be Blood and Mean Girls and
Welcome to Sniktcast, kids. This is what we do. Get used to it. I can't remember the exact number, but I'm getting close to episode 30, which is nuts.
That is crazy. Is crazy.
I'm wondering if I'll do something special, because it's not really an anniversary. I've not been doing it for 30 years or anything. It's just 30 episodes.
It's got to be something 30 related, I think.
Yeah, I'll think of something. I don't know if maybe I was wondering, and I'll just float this if anybody's watching. I was wondering, maybe someone should interview me, just for a novelty twist. Not that these are interviews; they're just chats. But
that's a cool idea. Now, somebody that's been watching this, somebody called Thomas Sharp that was watching this. They do interviews.
Well, know where I am. Anybody wants a piece of this, just message me. You have my consent. Just slide right in my DMs. You have consent. It's fine. I've said it out loud in public. It's recorded for all of time. Just hit me up.
I just had to slide a Mork and Mindy quote in there. It was happening.
Hey.
It was happening.
Oh, I miss that guy.
You know, when they talk about, like, I put this the other day, I really sometimes do feel that, like, it's weird to miss someone you've never met, but Robin Williams I miss. What I wouldn't like, what a person, what an actor, you know, the things that he said about humanity and kindness, and he was one of the people who started to really start the conversation about sadness in our current sort of pop culture, sort of recent history. People have done it all throughout history, and there have been some absolutely wonderful people who've flown the flag when it was harder to do so, um, on all sorts of things, on sort of God, I was reading a thing the other day about a group in Germany that were actually, before the war, were flying the flag for transgender rights, and we don't know about that because the libraries got burned.
Yeah.
So, and then there were people that that stood up against racism back when it was much more dangerous to, and people that stood up against the suffragettes. There were loads of good things that they sort of changed in a time when it was harder to get change done. But talking about feelings in popular culture at that time that he started to do it, and talking about depression, and talking about being sad when he had everything to some people, and yet he was like, you can be he was a person who kept on highlighting that you can be in a room full of people that adore you and feel the most alone. And
Yeah.
that was so profound because it made people realize that they weren't alone in that. And that's a big deal for someone who's also got to be a comedian. And he didn't think, well, people might not laugh at me now. It mattered to him that people knew that he knew. And I think that's pretty wonderful.
Yeah. I watched Good Will Hunting um, the other week for the first time in a while.
I thought
Talking
it
of
was
like,
the first time, and I was like,
no,
wow.
no, no, no. I've many. There was a time I could probably quote it from beginning to end without stopping everybody's lines and just for 2 hours and just do the film for you. Not so much now, getting old. But too much. It's the Homer Simpson thing. Something new goes in, something old
Yeah, so
goes out.
I can
Probably.
quote Buffy from season 1 to season 7, right?
But yeah, I was because I was kind of on one about a lot of like new films that kind of like like just have the content's kind of missing. It looks great and everything, but there's no heart and soul to a lot of films.
Yeah,
I like action movies. They don't really have to have much heart and soul or whatever.
yeah.
But even just like it's supposed to be a brainless action movie, but yet somehow you still tried to make it nearly 3 hours long and put something into it when all I really wanted to see was car crashes and explosions, and you've tried to make it something else. Sometimes don't. Sometimes just give me the bullshit.
But family.
So, so of all films to kind of, it was a toss up between Casablanca actually or Good Will Hunting, uh, and I went with Good Will Hunting, and I was just choking up as the Robin Williams scenes mounted. And I was like,
It's sad and
my
now to
God,
watch
like
it,
you said, I never met the guy. Now I never will.
but you
You
miss
know,
him.
and this is just a film. This is not like him on a documentary saying all these important things. This is a character in a film. This
Yeah,
isn't him, but of course it is him doing his art
and
or
it's both
just
of them that
one
you love, isn't it?
string to that bow that he
Yeah,
had. And I was like,
yeah.
fuck.
One of the
There's
like
such a body of work I can go to, but the fact that there's nothing new that
Jack.
I've seen everything that he's ever going to do.
Yeah,
Also, made like that.
I was,
So much of it is fantastic, but there'll be nothing new. Really, kind of. Damn it!
yeah. There'll be no more films by him. I remember Jack, and it was
That's
so
cool.
innovative. What a great actor, honestly. Like, what a great set of actors, really.
Yeah,
But just anything that he turned his acting abilities to, he absolutely smashed. I mean, of course, "Oh Captain, My Captain" is what is he was that when I see if I when I see something that he said, that's usually what I comment. I'm like, "Oh Captain, My Captain." That is what I think of when I see Robin Williams, because Dead Poets Society and teaching people to think about how they think rather than telling them what to think was quite an important thing for me. But just the way that he would portray a character was always with heart, like you say. Really, really beautiful actor. Really, really good body of work
oh,
as well. Like, fantastic body of work.
it's one of those. Nothing is bad. because he's so good
Yeah, I
in
mean, Mork and
everything.
Mindy. If any,
You know,
like the actual, some of the beautiful. I mean, Mork and Mindy is a very vague. I was very little when that was on, but some of the profound messages in that were, I'm not saying that he was doing the writing behind it. I don't know if he was actually. It'd be interesting to find out.
he was pretty much ad-libbing for like 90% of that show because they did the right thing. If you can get hold of, like, there's obviously lots of kind of inappropriate outtakes that couldn't be broadcast in that type of show at that type of time. But eventually, once he got that out of his system and did what we all saw,
Yeah.
but they did they knew what they were hiring and let him go. They could just go do that thing you do.
Which is what I think mostly. Like, like we've talked about it earlier on with, um, do I worry about what I write in terms of am I writing what people want? And I think that really to get the most out of someone who is already saying I want to create stuff, let them create it, see what they're doing, and if you like it, that's brilliant. If you don't, at least you've got to choose whether you like it rather than be told this you're going to like it because I'm going to do it specifically for this reason. That you get a lot out of people. And also, it's one of those things. So I will be told by some, when I first started doing music, I would have somebody take me to one side and say, Katrina, you need to do more covers because that's what people want. And I'd be like, I get it. And I understand why that makes sense to having that kind of an environment because it generates more sort of singing along and that sort of thing. But that's already happening enough for me, and I actually enjoy doing a cover and having people sing along. It's fun and it's really nice and enjoyable. But like I said, because I haven't done that so much, I've now got people singing along my songs and they're singing them back to me because I pushed and pushed and pushed, and I said I get it, but they'll you've got to take a chance. And if I had an establishment, I wouldn't want to say, okay, this is what people want, so this is what we're going to get, because nobody knows about the other thing if they don't ever get to see it. So how do we know if that's what they want?
If you build it, they will come.
And if they don't, then they'll get to go somewhere.
Because this is a Sniktcast, so I mostly speak in movie references and quotes, mostly. And at some point, I'll probably do some kind of quiz. I'll be like, if you can name how many I did by the end of the thing, I might.
How many quotes? How many
because
references?
I can't stop. Right, we are closing in on 2 hours. Can you believe that?
I know.
So I mean, I don't have much to do, but I do have a bit of shit to do. So I'm ridiculously bad at ending these things. I still haven't worked out a way to really properly do that. One thing we're going to do is just remind people, because it's been a while, this is Katrina Tia Charles.
Sorry, I got political. No, I'm not.
Singer-songwriter of the fantastic band known as Katrina Tia Charles. It's easy to remember. So light up the socials, light up the Spotify's, and then everywhere else, all streaming sites are available.
I've got 2 songs on Spotify, War and Light It Up.
And there's more to come in August, again in September.
9th of August for Sunshine, and a date in September for Cigarette. So
for anyone who's local, it seems like we are going to be waiting till at least 9th of August for some sunshine, because it's basically seems to have been raining so far this summer. It's monsoon season, I think we're going to start calling it, if this global warming thing keeps going the way it's going.
We are having a lot of rain, but the song Sunshine will be out in August. The song Cigarette will be released in September, and call to action, people. I would like your action. So the song is called Cigarette. It says roll me like a cigarette in the song, and I want to make a video where people are doing rolling a cigarette. Okay,
money.
So send me your videos of
Give
you
me money.
A cigarette. Just send me some of this, okay? Send me your video. Send me a clip of you doing that, and I will include you in the video.
You got that. So, in a vain attempt to try and end videos in some interesting way and use you as my guinea pig, which I'm sure you're so happy to do this, I'm gonna maybe possibly have the guest end us on a quote. If you would like to do an impression, if you know the quote, that would be awesome. So I've got a few. I've got a few bits of paper here. Just pick a number. 1, 2, 3.
2.
2. What's 2? So I can't remember what I wrote on these. Okay. Oh, so number 2. You can't read that. I don't expect you to. I can't read my own writing. But number 2 is Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. So you know what he says, right? Do you know it?
What does it? No, tell me. I forgot.
Okay. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
Amazing.
Go on. Your turn.
Oh, I've got to do it. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Right. Next time.
There you go. I might keep that. I'll do it a few times at least anyway. So,
I told you about the context thing.
For curiosity, had you chose number 1, I would have had you saying, same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Try to take over the world.
Had you picked number 3, it would have been, and we would have gotten away with it too.
If it wasn't for the pesky kids.
It's meddling. Meddling kids.
I can't believe I didn't get the Dr. Claw on it. Like, I was the biggest Inspector Gadget fan, honestly. Like,
man.
Loved it.
And I'm probably wrong, but I've been led to believe somewhere, and it's stuck in my brain, so it's probably wrong. These things usually are. That the girl who voiced Penny was actually the daughter of the guy who voiced Claw.
Oh wow, that's cool.
She's now very much a voice actor in her own right and doing some great stuff. I think that's her dad, but I could be wrong.
That is cool. Oh, before we go then, my t-shirt is a 1 over the 8 t-shirt. If you Google 1 over the 8 or check them out on Facebook, you'll be able to see a ton of live bands. And these guys put on live music on a Wednesday. So tonight it's been White Bear Wednesday. It's probably happening now. Several bands. Check these guys out. Check out Blackford's on the Victorian Arcade. That's where I get my merchandise made. It's where a lot of bands in town get their merchandise made. And these two businesses are massive promoters of local musicians and artists and creatives. So they deserve a shout out at the end of the cast.
Because capitalist scum still rocks.
No, these guys are the creatives. These guys are supporting the creatives, so go support them. And if you want to get hold of, obviously, a Katrina Tia Charles t-shirt to help support a starving artist paying for the next song to come out, they can be found at Blackford's on the arcade as well. And if you want to hear my songs in a pub, Peaky's Bar on the arcade are playing them, Jolly Tap on the arcade, and Spiral City. Basically, the Victorian Arcade, guys, in Barnsley. Go there.
And basically, if you're in any other pub, get them to do it, because they can do it. It's all just digital now. Yeah. Make it happen.
Yeah, and my songs are available on all major streaming platforms. Like I say, War and Light It Up are already on there. Sunshine comes out in August. My album will hopefully be released by the end of the year. Probably looking at April now. So that's not the end of the year. But I have got there's going to be 8 songs on it.
It's the end of the tax year.
Which is what we are basically.
Disingenuous.
We love taxes. We love tax is great.
Yeah.
Tax the rich.
No, but it's like Stallone says, isn't it? It's because it's not about how much you get taxed. It's about how much you can get taxed back and something punchy.
Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed it as always.
Anyway,
I'm
yes,
happy
we
to
really should go.
interview you for the 30th if you want me to interview you for the 30th.
We'll see. I've got a few. I've got a few weeks yet, and I've got a few ideas brewing. I'll see what we come up with. But yes. So that ending went really well. You know, about 10 minutes ago, I had this great idea. We could end the show on a quote. No, so that failed.
I'll do a quote, and then we end it when I've finished it. Okay? You gotta tell me who I am and what it's on, though. Okay. I don't give a tuppenny fuck about your moral conundrum, you meat-headed shit sack.
Oh my God, no, no, I'm not.
Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York.
Oh.
I just always wanted to do that.
In my defense, I did actually, forgive me, but only see that for the first time only a few weeks ago.
Really?
So it was like, I know that, but I don't know it well enough because I've once and only a few weeks ago, to my shame.
I think that's actually awesome. Ian's put with your powers combined.
Oh.
That's a good one. Right. Thank you for having me. We'll do an awkward ending.
We just
I can't. I can't.
It's like, he's breaking up. There she goes. Kids, always a pleasure, never a chore to speak to Katrina Tia Charles. I hope you had fun because we certainly did. And that's all that really matters. We're really selfish. We don't really care whether you had fun or not. Yes, of course we do. Of course we do. Glad you had fun. I'm back tomorrow. Tomorrow. I mean, you'll be watching this on YouTube in 3 weeks' time, so this is completely irrelevant doing this bit, but I'm doing it anyway. For the people watching live, I am back tomorrow, 8 p.m. tomorrow, with a fantastic artist of a completely different sort. But you'll love her a lot. I'll see you then.